It's gonna be a while, isn't it? Oh, hey everyone. This is Joe from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're all doing well. I wish I was doing well. I was supposed to receive my new couch today. I'm currently using the giant ass cushions for my last couch that me and my father had ripped up, and I was supposed to have my new couch today, and then be comfortable again, but not today. Not today. Hopefully next week. Anywho, if you were unaware, if you haven't watched our update video, which you should, but if you haven't, I totally understand that. Updates are not anyone's speed nowadays. But anywho, as a good amount of the Nancy Drew people know, I missed episode 2 and 3 because as my computer shut down. Well, my computer wasn't working for about a week or so, so I was unable to review episode 2 and 3 on time. So I'm reviewing episode 2 and episode 3 in this episode of What's on the Tube, and then tomorrow we will be back to normal with episode 4. Now, my knowledge is a bit fuzzy on episode 2 and 3, because the thing is that I watch a lot of TV shows. I think right now I'm watching 10 shows live right now. I watch more than that, but it's just 10 on my flat screen TV, trying to catch up, trying to watch every single night it airs. So that's what I mean. Like, I'm watching 10 shows, so I gotta remember so many stories. So, and Nancy Drew, as much as I enjoyed the first episode, episode 2 and 3 were a bit mixed for me. And obviously, I've been praising so far all the shows I've been talking about on this show, that it's necessary / not necessary, but it's not surprising that eventually that I would have to talk a little bit more mixed, so to speak. As with any show, especially a new show, like after the first episode, because, and again, I'm meaning no offense to the writers, but when it comes to when you're writing the pilot for a show, you're putting so much effort into it, but then when you get picked up, and then you have the sudden daunting task of, oh god, we got to write a whole season. So, and I'm not giving. Okay, I'm gonna go frank and begin. Like, I'll begin with the end. I honestly think Nancy Drew episode 2 and 3 were good. At the end of the day, they were good. I'm enjoying the series, but I'm not in love with the series. I'm not like, this isn't like one of like my I gotta watch every single episode. Because the thing is that one of the main lures for me to watch this show was the mystery aspect of sort of thing. I can't speak English. The mystery aspect, so to speak, where obviously the whole season-long mystery, which is what really happened to the Sea Queen back in the year 2000. What happened to her? Why is she a ghost? That was sort of the big mystery, and did, like, the first episode did give me some Mystery Incorporated vibes from Scooby-Doo if you had watched that a few weeks ago. And going into 2 and 3, I still have a couple of those. It's not as prevalent as anymore. Again, when you're shooting the pilot to comparing to the rest of the first season, with any show, it's going to be a little bit different because they had more time to develop the story, more time for the actors to be away from those roles and then come back. So things were going to be a little bit different. And this was one of those cases where I definitely felt like there was a bit of a shift from the pilot to the show, where honestly, I'm gonna be perfectly frank with you. So I'm gonna jump around between episode 2 and 3 because like I'm conjoining them together. So I apologize, and I'm not gonna give 2 and 3 their own time in the limelight because they are so. I can't talk because the thing is, this is a mystery show where when you learn something later on, it does help for like comparing like setup, like, oh, this is how they set up for this, and that's cool. Where it's like I don't really notice much in this case, so to speak. Then again, I haven't watched the mystery show in God knows how long, so I'm a little bit rusty. So bear with me, if you will. I honestly was surprised that so far, by the end of episode 3, we haven't solved the wife murder yet. Now, honestly, I thought this was going to be like, okay, the pilot's going to set this up, and we're going to get this solved in episode 2. And we're in episode 3. We finished 3 right now, and we're still on this mystery. Like, I wasn't expecting to have 2 season-long mysteries. Like, could this potentially go for the whole season? And just to say, like, before, and again, another thing I should interrupt, is that this show has been picked up for the full 22-episode season. So while I'm happy that Nancy Drew is doing well for the CW, that, okay, they're instilling some confidence and giving them more episodes, it's puzzling and a bit concerning for me because, like, so far, I'm not seeing how are they going to stretch this story out to 22 episodes. And it's different for, like, Nancy Drew was based on a book series, as many of you know. And those had I don't know how thick the Nancy Drew books were. I don't really know, so I don't have that knowledge on me. But if it's a mystery book, I don't know, like, a mystery should last about 2 hours, so in this case 2 episodes, from what I'm realizing. But considering this is TV, they usually would, like, I was honestly expecting this to be, like, episode 3 would start the mystery of the week format, but as well as continuing the season-long plot, like, giving us little hints in there. And while the show, with episode 2 or 3, they are giving us little hints, like, what is Nancy's dad's involvement in this? And how does he fit into the overall mystery? Because, like, obviously this is a mystery show, so, like, everyone has something shady to hide. And it's a classic trope that obviously it's still prevalent. And sometimes with this show, it does. Now, again, I'm sorry to say, I know I'm hating on the dad so much. I would have really preferred Freddie Prinze Jr., and I still would. I understand he's doing the best he can, and he's doing an okay job. It's just, for me, like, there's something about me, it's like, he's not connecting with me. I should be liking this character, but he seems a little bland in moments. And then the rest of the cast is fine. I mean, I still have to make my typical George, joke of the week. Oh, well, in this case, 2 jokes. Still, honestly, I'm really surprised. Like, they're taking, like, I apologize for jumping around everywhere. My mind is of jumble for this, because, like, I watched episode 2 live. Ironically, another story I should mention, and again, I am so sorry I'm jumping around the place, but this is my show. When I was the moment when my computer shut down and stopped working was literally the moment when I was about to record the Nancy Drew episode 2 review. So I'm not saying the ghost cursed my computer. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not blaming you, CW. But it was just an ironic coincidence. It was really ironic. I'm trying to remember more about episode. No. So okay. Let's do proper. Let's start with episode 2 if I can remember that much, and then we'll go to episode 3 and we'll be done for now. Episode 2 obviously was this is the first episode they're filming, knowing they were going to do a whole season. They definitely made a couple of character changes from what I noticed. The character of Ace, the shaggy looking guy, if I got the name right. Again, I apologize. New show, new names. The only one I remember is Nancy Drew and George. That's really much it. Ace's character is definitely, like, I honestly thought Ace was going to be the chilled, laid back dude who's just trying to get to the I keep forgetting her name. I don't want to be racist, even though I'm Hispanic. The other waitress, I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. I thought he was just going to be pining over her for the whole season. He was just going to be comedic relief during these dramatic mystery moments. That's what I honestly thought. And they definitely, like, put a little bit more, like, depth in this character. Like, okay, he has some brains. He's not going to take every single rejection. He's very much like, okay, let me be your friend for now. Sorry about that. Something fell, and I was like, "Oh God, is the ghost here? Is she haunting me?" Okay. So I gotta give him the credit for that, for giving him, not making him like a typical comedic relief character. They're adding a little bit more depth to his character. I'm honestly really digging George and Nancy's dynamic right now. I have a feeling by the end of the season they're gonna be a very sort of different sort of best friends, where it's like, they are best friends, they have stuff in common, they don't have stuff in common, but they have a mutual respect for each other. And I typically would view them as a rivalry friendship, where it's like, they are nice to each other, but they definitely have some different opposing views on certain things. That's what I'm noticing, obviously. Again, I'm still really surprised that this mystery, the wife murder, hasn't been solved yet. I'm really surprised. Is it the husband? It could be the husband. I mean, he's acting very differently. Like, it turns out that George has a thing for older men, so I should ask my George if he has a thing for older women. Anywho, sorry for saying, I'm still trying to process my thought. Is it the husband? I really don't know. Like, it's another classic trope. Like, look at the husband, because a good amount of time it is the husband. In this case, I don't know. He could be crazy. He could be the typical rich dude that's like, I got all this money, I had the wife, but I was having some things on the side. and it was kind of imperative in episode 2 where I think he was gonna have a one night stand with someone, or maybe this was a regular fling, and I assume he had something with George. I don't know his history. With the whole he was moving the body from the town's morgue to another morgue out of town to have more control over it. Definitely, right now it's making things a little shady, and I would not be surprised at the end of the day he has something to do with it. And I do think right now it's him. There's not that much. I mean, we'll get to episode 3 in a second where they reveal another clue about that mystery. I'm just surprised they're still going to be keeping that going for how long? I'm going to make the guess now. It will be done by mid-season. That's my guess. But I'm really curious. Are we ever going to get the mystery of the week thing? Because that was my whole expectation for this. Because it was going to be the season-long mystery. Then we got mystery of the weeks. That's what I was hoping for. Will we get that later on? I really don't know. Because so far, I don't think Nancy has solved in this series. In this timeline, we haven't seen her solve a case yet. Being back on the case, she's still trying to solve the ghost case, but then she's also trying to solve the dead wife case just to get the cops off her back. And I think that's most of episode 2 that I can remember. They're definitely making progress with Nancy and the claw group, as I'm going to call them. Nick's a bit of a offshoot by this point. It's is he he has a troubled past? So is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he secretly still a criminal? What's going on? And then it was episode 3 that I'm giving them more credit in episode 3 because they made things a little bit more into depth with the characters. Where I do believe okay, now we're jumping into episode 3 here. For Nick, it was definitely the focus was on him. It's what did he do to get him in jail? And what was his complex relationship? Because at the end of episode 2, we realized he had a connection with a dead wife. So now it's were they having a fling? Were they kind of something? Did they have their own thing to hide? And it turns out that no. So apparently the reason why Nick, and I should mention spoilers, major spoilers for episode 2 and 3 of Nancy Drew. He had a fight with a fellow football player, and he ended up accidentally killing him. But since the dead wife, turned out to see the whole thing and only saw the portion of him being pushed off the window, she was the credible witness to put him away. And then when she heard his side of the story after he got convicted, she felt bad for him. And she decided to kind of take him under her wing, and kind of make her her impromptu best friend. They kind of have this good book relationship going. Apparently, I don't know. So again, I think by this point, I do trust them for now. Again, it's a mystery. Anything can change. There could be a late breaking development. No, he did this, so that's why he did it. And there was kind of the whole thing about turning Nancy Drew into a grounded book series. Again, I haven't read the book, so I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments if I am. To now, we got the supernatural elements at play. I think they definitely pushed that a little bit too much with giving George her own supernatural element. Because apparently, and another thing I should mention from episode 2 is now that I remember things, I am missing a lot of things, so I apologize. There was apparently this town tradition where they would put a bunch of seawater in a bucket outside their porch, and if it's clear after the next morning, you're fine. If it turns blood, you're gonna die that year. And she got the blood, so she's fearing is she gonna die this year? Is she gonna die? I really don't know. I personally, I would be disappointed if they kill off the character named George. Anywho, they resume. So that was kind of a weird thing. Obviously, they're trying to play more there is more supernatural happenings around this town, and I understand that. I do. I thought this was a little bit weak. It did make for some funny comedic moments where she could have died at any point, but who knows if that's even true? Who knows? They made some interesting fronts on the. Oh my god, I feel sorry for this. The waitress, the other waitress of the group, they made progress on her front. Apparently, she is not rich. Well, I guess she maybe was rich, but she's living in not a motorhome, a van. And how did that happen? We don't know yet. but there's definitely something off about her. She has possession of the ring from the wife, so could she be involved? Did she find it? It's another thing. Like, this is a mystery show. I think by the end of the day, I'm gonna review this as this should have been watched as a binge series, but I'm still enjoying it. They did make progress on the wife mystery front. They apparently used Nick's connection with her with the books as a clue to figure out that she actually had secretly stored away in this property she bought that she was supposed to like turn into a business, but now she's turning into a landmark. Before she died, she left Nick some bonds to apparently if he sells it, it's freaking $5 million. Which honestly, if it were me, I would take that money. I mean, get away from it all, start a new life. I would honestly take it, but he's smart enough to know like, hey, this is all dirty. This could all be dirty money. I don't want to get involved in this. So. And obviously, like if a person on probation suddenly gets $5 million, that seems suspicious enough to like, hey, what's going on over here? What's going on? And he did the right call, but we have no idea how. I mean, they got $5 million in his lab. I mean, that's going to come up again at some point down the line. The Ghost overall mystery, like, what is really her connection? Like, it's got to be something with the Drews, because like, she's going after Nancy. She's going after the dad. I believe the dead wife's husband is getting haunted too. So what is the connection here? Like, was it the family connection? Was it something else? Who knows? I'm still really curious to see how this is all going to turn out in the end. And because I love mysteries. I love the answer. Like, how does it happen? Then like when you start connecting the old pieces together, like, oh, this is how it's turning into this. This is how it's turning into that. And I feel like for me, right now, I'm starting to realize more and more that a mystery show should be binged, because especially in this day and age, because I think it's the impatience in me, because like I want to know what happens, and I understand like in other types of shows, there's a reason why they want to keep that dramatic tension going, like what is going to happen, and at least for me, it's like when it comes to mysteries specifically, it's like, whenever I read a mystery, like, I'm going to get to know the answer fairly soon if I keep reading. And I understand that's the same way. Like, if I keep watching, we're going to figure out what happened to the queen, to the Sea Queen. It's just that we have to wait week to week, and now we got to wait till the end of May, I assume, to figure out that mystery's conclusion. Is very much, for me, it's like, I really hope they wrap up one of these mysteries soon and start getting to the mystery of the... Like, honestly, I'm waiting for, like, the real, like, serialized format. And I know that sounds weird for even me to say, because, like, I'm always supporting, like, shows should try something new. But I guess this is such an old-fashioned, like, genre that I kind of do want them to, like, explore a little bit of that realm before they would do something totally new. Again, that's my taste. I don't know. Like, I've been so off the game lately with this type of genre, so it's like, I am not the expert in this. It's just my opinion. And overall, like, I'm still enjoying the show. It's just not, like, the thing I was hoping that would hook me in. And I feel like Premiere-itis has finally settled away, and I'm starting to finally see the, I'm not going to say flaws, because... Not really flaws, and I won't even want to say shortcomings, because again, it's still a new show, so it's like, you gotta give the benefit of the doubt. Like, I think after 5 episodes, if the show's not enough, like, you should be out. But I'm gonna stay committed no matter what, because I want to see how this mystery turns out in the end. And whatever that happens, I'll be down to see what it is. I have my prevailing theories where... Actually, let's do a thing. Let's do a new thing. Right here, right now. I just came this up. Let's do a... I don't know what to call this segment. I really don't know. But it'll be like, where is my current view on the mystery so far? So with the Ghost, I am pretty sure... I'm going to say... No, the age would... Actually, the age would be right. Okay, my bold prediction currently right now for the Ghost mystery is that Nancy's father was dating the Sea Queen, and then he met Nancy's mom. And then apparently it turned into a love triangle, which again is another like age-old trope, but it could work in this case, where she found out, and then it was like something tragic happened between them, and it was like she got so depressed, and then something happened to her, and then that's how she died. So my prediction is that Nancy's father was dating the Sea Queen, and then because I was like confused in the timeline, but it's like it was the year 2000, and the series is, I believe it's present day, so 2019. And Nancy's only 18, so it would be like, I mean, I know it's a little bit like teenage pregnancy. It's like, is the CW going to do that? It's like, I'm not going to rule it out, but that's my prevailing theory. Or something similar to that. Actually, did they ever confirm the age of the Sea Queen? I should look that up. And hopefully have that updated for next week. As for the dead wife mystery, my personal opinion, it's the husband. There's just nothing else you can like really say. Like, all of his actions have been shady. Like, he's been trying to. He wanted the property. He wanted like any sort of quick cash, because apparently they had a prenup, which honestly smart for her for signing the prenup. But it's like he's kind of like drowning. He's not drowning in debt, I think, but it's like he kind of wants more money. He knows her death is going to give him some type of money. He just wants it right away. And it's definitely a motive to play there. And obviously he moved the body from the town morgue to another morgue. So there's something he doesn't want to know about them and the town. So he has to push that away. And he's trying to build a public, not public pity, but it's like he's trying to improve his public image to probably when he eventually does go to trial, he'll have some positive, naysayers in the jury. Which honestly is a smart move. I'm giving him credit on that. So personally, my opinion, it's the husband. I'm just waiting for like, when is the shoe going to drop? And hopefully that will be next week. Anywho, that overall, Nancy Drew episode 2, one thumb up. I'm going to say that. Episode 2, 2 thumbs up. Episode 3, 2 thumbs up. I'm sorry. It's almost midnight when I'm recording this. I'm getting a little hazy over here. Anywho. So far, enjoying Nancy Drew so far. It's not where I was expecting it to be, but hopefully it'll be picking up the pace soon. But we'll see what happens next. Anywho, that was it for this edition of What's on the Tube. If you want to know overall what's coming up, tomorrow will be episode 4. We'll be back on schedule, and then we should be hopefully barring any more technical difficulties, that should be it for. We should be on a normal schedule from now on, and then. Coming up later on What's on the Team in terms of like branching off from Nancy Drew, we got Doom Patrol Season 1 coming out this Saturday. And then after that, we got rookie stuff too, so check that out. Anywho, that was it for this edition of What's on the Tube. If you're just waking up for your nap, I hope you enjoyed your nap. If you were unaware, this is from ActionX. Please like, share, favorite, or subscribe if you want to. Not forcing you, no pressure here. And I will see you guys on the Nancy Drew stuff tomorrow. So, peace out.